Hey guys, welcome back to Applesutra. I'm Shitija, and today we're going to be talking about different note-taking apps. Since I'm an avid note taker, I've used a lot of different note-taking apps, and as you can imagine, I have a lot to say about them. But today I'll be discussing my 3 favorite note-taking apps that I've been using across my devices to varying degrees of success. One is the famous Apple Notes, free of course, and it comes pre-installed with every iPhone, Mac, iPad, whichever Apple device that you have. The next is GoodNotes, specifically GoodNotes 5, which is perhaps my most used note-taking app and my favorites, and I'll tell you why. The next is Notability, very comparable to GoodNotes 5, and it would have been my most used app if not for one thing. I'll tell you what that is. Okay, so first things first, let's start with customization, and that is in terms of the notebooks and how it looks when you first enter the app. This is the interface that you see when you open GoodNotes. You have your different notebooks that I had opened. When you click on new, you get these options. And these options are pretty interesting because they make it very easy for you to customize and to sort your files into different folders. For example, if you want to just open a notebook or start a new notebook, you can click here, select whichever, select covers, and you have quite a few options of covers here. And then you can select which kind of paper you want inside, and that comes in 3 different colors, and that's yellow, dark, and white. You can choose here which you want to display. You can also select the size of the paper, which is pretty cool. I usually just use the GoodNotes standard or A4 because that's best for sharing. But that's all the customization options you have when you're opening a notebook. You can also import different pages, and that's something you can do inside your notebook when you're editing your file itself. We'll go into more detail when I show you the actual interface of a file. Besides that, you have a folder, so that is really helpful for sorting your notebooks into. So if I just say Applesutra, and I can sort these notebooks into this folder. Then you can import images, scan documents through your camera, take a photo, and import different PDF files. Next, let's move to Notability. This is the standard interface that opens up when you open Notability. It's okay. I personally prefer GoodNotes much better because it has this notebook kind of a feel, even though you have these folders to sort them into. But that's not to say that this does not offer you the options to sort your notes. So you can add different folders here, like this personal folder, this work folder. That's all something that you do have, but the kind of aesthetic that GoodNotes give you, that's not here, that's not present here, and that's just something I personally don't like. And otherwise, you can import anything. You can when you open a new file, you can choose one from the gallery. Different users have uploaded these for other users, which is pretty cool. You can browse for more from the different templates that the users have added. You can even upload your own. Then it comes to the pre-installed pages that Notability comes with, and that offers these basic features like the dot notebooks, square notebooks, ruled, and then you have hexagonal, corner, all these different sorts of note pages. Even for planning, you have all these options. If you want a weekly planner or something, that's pretty cool. And you have more color options here. So you have this cool purple, you have this light purple, you have yellow. I don't know who wants yellow, but yeah. Anyway, so you have all these color options, and that's pretty cool and much better than GoodNotes, which only offers 3 colors. And yes, you have all the options for page sizes. So that was it for Notability when it comes to the interface. Next is Apple Notes. We all know Apple Notes. It's pretty basic. You have all these folders. You also have smart folders, which you can sort into using hashtags, which is nice but also confusing sometimes. You have quick notes for your on-the-go note taking, and it's all pretty regular, standard, nothing really aesthetic. Very similar to Notability, I guess. So all in all, I think in this round, GoodNotes is definitely the winner and my personal favorite. Let's talk about the writing experience. Personally, I prefer GoodNotes for my writing, and that's because it offers me a lot of range when I'm trying to select my brushes. You can also add brushes. It offers you exact measurement in terms of pen thickness. So, and that is the kind of flexibility every writer wants, right? Coming to Notability, it's got pretty much the same brushes, a little less precision in terms of controlling your brush size, because it doesn't offer you the exact measurement, the exact millimeter of the brushes like GoodNotes does. But still, it's nothing that takes away from your experience. It also offers these dotted brushes, which is pretty cool. If you can see from this, it has a kind of dotted texture, and that's nice for whenever you're taking notes. And you can also, of course, change the color and set your favorites. Next is Apple Notes. Now, of course, we all know and love Apple Notes is the best for using across our devices, because it's synced across the devices, it's free, and it has pretty much all the things you need on the go. This has the standard iPhone, iPad brushes. So this one's for when you are writing text on your iPad. Not the best handwriting recognition, but anyway. This is for when you're drawing or when you're just writing something. And of course, it has the highlighter. Choose the color. I actually do not like the Apple Notes highlighter all that much. For one, it has these weird squared edges, and it's not very satisfying to me, to be honest. But some people might like it better. I honestly do not, but nothing that takes away from the experience again. Now let's get to converting text. I'm sure that is something that you guys must be curious about. How these 3 different apps handle text conversion and searching based on what you have written, not as text but with the pencil itself. For Apple Notes, that's pretty easy. There's 2 ways to go about it. One, you can write directly with this pencil. I'll just write hi, and it writes it out, right? Or you can just select the text with this pencil and copy it as text. Okay, that was for Apple Notes. For Notability, again, you can just select the marquee tool and click convert here, text, and it shows you this nice preview. You can even delete your edit, use, autocorrect and everything. And then you can convert it directly or just copy the text to your clipboard. That's two options. Similarly for GoodNotes, it offers your selection tool, and of course you can move this around wherever you want, resize it, add element, but here we'll convert it. And as you see, the handwriting recognition is not very exceptional, but of course something that you can change, I guess. Anyway, but one thing that actually sucks about GoodNotes is that it does not offer you the option to directly copy it as text. You have to select the text yourself and copy it from here, which is something pretty standard, and I'm not sure why they don't have it here. So if you select that here, you'd have to go to the text option, add a text box here, and paste it. It's not something very user friendly. That is the kind of convenience that you want, then you might want to consider one of the other apps. One thing I want to note is that GoodNotes and Notability both have better font options than Apple Notes. I mean, that is obvious because Apple only offers their standard SF font, while both GoodNotes and Notability have all the fonts that you could possibly want to suit your note writing purposes. Another thing I don't like about Apple Notes is that it does not let you add text and whatever your drawings or your handwritten notes side by side. So as you can see here, it adds a little bit of a page break, kind of spacing out the elements. So if there's any text elements or any written typed elements, that those will come separately to any of your drawings, and it's actually, these pretty much are images for Apple Notes. Not the best user experience, because sometimes you just want to have images besides your notes and besides text. So not the best for note taking, because it does get a little confusing sometimes. And these other two apps offer a little bit more flexibility in terms of that. You can just sort of do anything and move anything anywhere, and that's pretty cool. So that was it for what it looks like and what the experience is overall for these three apps. Now let's get into proper features. So one thing that Notability offers that neither of the other two do is audio recording. So if you're in a class or in a meeting and you want to really record something that the speaker is saying, then you can just press on audio recording, and this is specific to whichever part of your note taking you are on. So for example, if I write something here, this will track the exact position and the exact audio that you were listening to at that point of time. So, if you're ever listening to that audio recording, it'll kind of timestamp which note you were listening, which exact note you were writing at that point of time, and what audio corresponds to that. And that is a very cool feature that I think only Notability has. You can even edit these recordings inside your Notability app. Another thing that Notability does really well is customization of the backgrounds of text boxes. So as you can see here, this is a text box. It has Applesutra written inside it, and the background is different from my actual page layout. So if I go here, paper, I can change the color, I can change whatever style it has inside, and I can even change the patterns. So that is something that none of the other two apps offer, and just offers a little bit more flexibility in terms of what you want your notes and your notebook to look like. One thing I want to talk about for GoodNotes is that I opened my GoodNotes today and it came up that they have this cool beta feature right now that they're testing. In that, you can just email any PDF that you want to a unique GoodNotes email ID, and it will open itself in your GoodNotes app, sort of sort itself here. So that was it for features. Now let's talk about sharing options and cloud syncing. As far as sharing goes, we all know Apple Notes is only there for Apple devices. So if you have a Mac, if you have an iPhone, it'll sync through iCloud. No other options offered. So Google Drive, OneDrive, all of that is out. And that really sucks for someone who has the free iCloud plan, which only offers 5 GB. So if you do not use your iCloud plan for anything except Apple Notes, then I guess you're good to go. But otherwise, you'll be in a pretty tough spot for as far as that goes. For the other two, on the other hand, of course, there is iCloud syncing and no iCloud Drive, but they offer other different cloud options. For GoodNotes, they offer Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive. Notability offers a little more flexibility in terms of even backups, because it has all the options that GoodNotes does and some more in the form of Box and WebDAV. WebDAV, if you are not aware, is basically offering a backup to any WebDAV platform or software. So it becomes really easy to back up to any software that you want. That is not something that GoodNotes does. However, now let's get to something that is the actual selling point of these three apps, and which actually makes the biggest difference when you consider which app you're going to use for your note-taking purposes. Apple Notes, of course, is free for Apple users. That is the biggest point. So if you have an iPad or a Mac or an iPhone, you are good to go. You have Apple Notes. You can take notes anytime you want. GoodNotes, on the other hand, has a one-time payment model. So it takes about $600 to $700. That is $7.99. So once you get that one time, you pay that one time free, you're good to go until the developer keeps supporting it. As for Notability, so that is the sticking point that always comes for this app, because Notability also used to have a one-time payment model until the 11th upgrade. And so if you had the Notability at that point of time, and if you bought Notability, you would still have access to all the features that you had before. But now they offer an yearly subscription, which is pretty expensive. So and that is what makes, despite having all these great features, which makes Notability a no for a lot of users. The yearly subscription now is $11.99, which is $4 more than GoodNotes, and which translates to about $900 to $1,000 per year, INR. They do have a free app. It's kind of on a premium basis. So, but you only get 3 tools in the free app and limited note edits, which honestly is not something that you want out of your note-taking app. So, overall, I think when it comes to note-taking apps, GoodNotes 5 is the way to go, and the Applesutra pick. But if you're willing to shell out $900 to $1,000 per year, then definitely go for Notability. And of course, when both of them fail, your trusty Apple Notes is always there. So that was it for this video. We'll leave the link to all 3 apps in the YouTube description. And if you like this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And stay tuned for more coming from Applesutra. Bye.